Chapter 8 Quenching. The storm cellar door slams shut. Forrest reaches out and grabs a lantern from the wall holster. He holds it in his left hand and has Nita hung over his right shoulder. Valoria walks closely next to me as we make our way through the shadows into the edge of Alba. It smells of fire and burning flesh. I'm trying not to breathe it in. We're nearly out to the village. About time we light the lantern. Forrest stops in place. Would you mind less? He pulls something out of his pocket and gives it to Valoria. She proceeds to make sparks with it into the lantern until it lights. She hands him the item and we start walking again. I take one last look back at the village I got to know so briefly. It's towering in black smoke over a night sky. I turn back to follow Forrest into the shaded trees. We continue crunching across fallen twigs and leaves. Where are you bringing Nita? Valoria questions. Just up ahead. It was her favorite place to go. Are you okay, Forrest? Forrest stares straight ahead into the thicket of bushes and blackness. We emerge into a meadow, bursting with different colored flowers, surrounding a small pond. The treetops form a perfect circle around it, allowing the moonlight to dimly illuminate the area. Forrest sets the lantern down onto a flat stone and makes his way around the pond. Bullfrogs croak and fireflies blink their way through the cattails. He stops near the only tree within the circle. It's small and white, standing shorter than Forrest. I watched her plant the sapling, Forrest whispers. She loved it like it was her own child. He sets Nita down next to the tree and begins digging into the mud in front of it. Valoria kneels down and starts digging as well. It hurts to move my body like this, but it seems important to both of them. I won't just watch as they strain themselves. We make a hole big enough to fit a person into, and as deep as my arm's length. All right, that's enough. Forrest finally says something. Thank you both. He stands up and steps to Nita again, tears rolling down his cheeks. He lifts her gently and sets her in the hole we dug. You were a wonderful woman, with an imagination like no other, Nita. You didn't deserve the life you lived. I'm sorry I couldn't protect you. Forrest cries out to the night sky. Thank you, Nita, for everything that you taught. I will never forget what you showed me. Take care of Mother for me. Tears drip down on Anita from Valoria. It falls silent as everyone stares down at her still body. I'm sorry, I whispered to Anita. This is all my fault. If I had just listened to you. Your fault. Forrest puts his hand on my back. Lad, this had nothing to do with you. But I caused that scene. And now... No, Smith. It may not have helped. But there is much more at play here. Trust me. What does that mean? Help me bury her, would you, lad? I nod, then help pile the mud and dirt we dug out back into the hole. Sweet birch sapling, please watch over our beloved Nita as she returns to the soil and springs life anew. May her spirit rest easy under the protective aura you expel. Our sincerest gratitude. Floria bows to the white tree, then makes a handprint in the mound of mud and draws a circle around it. That was beautiful, lass. Thank you. Forrest hugs her tightly and whispers, I'm sorry about your mother. I wish we could have went back for her, but she lives on, through me. All of her teachings are within my journal I carry everywhere, and I still feel her energy, following me and guiding us. We must press on and make it to the village she's told me stories of since I was a young girl. It's where I belong, and a place where we'll all be safe. I believe it. Floria gleams brightly. You said we're heading east then? Yes. Follow the mountainside until you reach the river, cross the stream and hike along the coast until you see a stone with a giant hole through it. Then, in a day's time east, we'll arrive. That's quite the journey. Jiminy has been there. Floria nods, then goes to pick up the lantern still flickering on the stone. Let's go. Forrest and I bow to Nita's grave and follow Valoria into the trees. We walk through the entire night, passing through what seems like the same place over and over again. Nothing but endless fields of green as far as the eye can see. I don't know how she can tell where she's going. The sun begins rising directly in front of us. I'm so tired, my legs are shaking. I don't know how much further I can go. Floria is still standing upright, wide awake. She's dead set on finding this place as soon as possible. Forrest hasn't said a word all night long. It's very unlike him. I know he said this wasn't my fault, but I can't help but feel like he actually blames me. Hold up, lass. Forrest hollers out. We need to eat something. Valoria stops and looks back at us. My stomach growls. You brought food? Course, lass. Forrest pulls a knapsack off his left shoulder and opens it up. He reaches in and pulls out a few slices of bread and fruit, then hands us each some. We all eat and pass a container of water around. No one says a word until we're all finished. Thank you. I look at Forrest finishing his last bite of bread. Aye, Smith. How you holding up? It hurts, but I think resting a moment helped. He sighs. Can you keep going? I think so. I stand up. Having a full stomach definitely helped a bit, but I'm still exhausted. I think I could manage a while longer, though. Forrest stands up. The sun sits atop his head now. It's morning. The grass has droplets of dew bending their tops down, and all sorts of sounds fill the air. Clicking, whistling, chirping, and buzzing. Everyone is awake. Thanks, Forrest. We'll be at the river by high sun. Valoria picks up a stick. Here. She extends the branch to me. I grab it. Use it to put some of your weight on. It'll make it easier on you. I stab the branch into the dirt and support myself with it. Much better. Thank you. Valoria starts walking toward the sun again. Forrest and I follow. With every step, I feel the small amount of energy I have left pour out of me like sand through a sieve. The sun is now beating down on us from above, radiating waves of extreme heat. I'm completely drenched in sweat. Thick black locks of hair stick down to my face, down past my chin. I wipe them off and tuck them behind my ears. This is nearly unbearable. "Look!" Valoria shouts excitedly. "The river! I can see it!" She takes off sprinting through tall grass and sunflowers toward the river and the horizon. "Careful, lass!" Forrest cups his mouth with his hands and screams. "We're coming! Ho ho!" Forrest turns to me with a giant smile and shakes a shower of sweat off of me. "You're ready, Smith." "For what?" He lifts me off of the ground like I don't weigh anything and sits me on his shoulders. I feel like a giant. Forrest grips my legs tightly, then charges full speed ahead. I bounce with every step as we fly through an open field chasing after Valoria. "Race ya! Ho ho!" Forrest chuckles as we zip past Valoria. "Hey!" I turn to look back at her. Her face is scrunched up as she hunches down and sets her footing. Then she explodes with speed, leaving a cloud of dust behind her. She drops her head and starts swinging her arms in tandem. She catches up to us in no time and sticks her tongue out as she passes us by. "You're on!" Within an instant, she's dashing out way ahead of us. "Ho ho!" Forrest chuckles. We run all the way down to the riverbank to meet up with Valoria, making faces and gloating. "Ha ha, I won." "Aye," Forrest sets me down. "Next time you're carrying the lad." "Ho ho!" Valoria's eyes get huge, then she smiles and laughs. "Let's cross the river, then set up camp. It's running pretty high, though. Those stones!" She points at a makeshift stone path. "Let's cross there." "Good eye, lass." Forrest makes his way to the first stone. "Go ahead. I'll cross last." Valoria jumps in front of him on top of the rock. She takes a few steps, then hops to the next stone in the running river. She lands nimble as a cat. Forrest motions for me to go next. This is horrific. I look down into the current. It's speeding faster than a horse in full sprint. I can't do this. "Come on, Smith!" She's yelling from ahead. Okay. Walking stick in hand, I get ready. I take a few steps, then leap over the raging waters. It's not too far of a jump. I land with ease next to Valoria. The sound of the splashing water hitting the rocks is so loud I can barely hear Vorus yelling at us. "Keep going! I'll be but a stone behind. Ho ho!" There's 7 more stones to get across. I'll be fine. "Ready?" Valoria jumps out to the next landing. I follow, yet again, leaping out to land with her. I stand upright and turn to watch Forrest crash down onto the first stone. He smiles wide at me. I can't hear it, but I know he's laughing loudly. I look back at Valoria, already halfway to the next one. Here we go. I land, just barely on the edge this time. I stand up and block the scorching heat from my face with my leather arm. I can't believe how hot it is over here. At least the trees were providing shade from before. Valoria sets herself to jump again. On her first step, she slips and starts sliding off the rock. I reach my branch out to her. "Grab it!" She reaches out and grabs the branch. I start pulling her up. When she's mostly on again, she lets go of the branch. I stumble backwards and almost fall off the ledge myself, but she grabs my shirt and balances me out. There. We're even. Valoria smiles at me. All right over there, Forrest hollers. Yes, we're fine, she screams back. She lets go of me and continues to smile. Go ahead, I gesture to keep moving. Can you go first? That kind of freaked me out. Sure. What am I saying? Why am I getting ready to run and jump? Where is this confidence coming from? What has she done to me? I look out to the next stone. It's further than the last two. I start running, step after step until I reach the ledge, then spring myself out. I look down midair at the river below. I'm surprised she didn't get swept away in it. It looks fierce. I look back to my landing. I'm not going to make it. If I'm lucky, I can catch the edge and pull myself up, but I'm coming down really fast. I drop my branch and reach out. My legs dangle in the water as my elbows catch onto the rock. I'm swaying like hair in the wind. I need to lift myself. Smith! They both cry out behind me. The rock is slippery. I'm having a hard time keeping my grip. There's no way I can lift myself. I can't just give up, though. Who knows where this river runs to? And that's if I don't drown before getting out. I push down with all of my might. Pop! The leather arm detaches and falls flat on the stone, palm down. I wasn't expecting the sudden change. I face plant into the stone and fully fall into the river. It rips me away quicker than I can react. The current pulls me under. I was already completely exhausted, but now I don't even have the energy to fight against it. I thought Voris lifted me like I weighed nothing, but this strength makes even him look weak. I ragdoll back and forth, surfacing and going under. Splash! It sounded like a boulder fell into the river way behind me. I keep kicking and stroking my one arm, but it's of no use. I have no control over myself. I should just accept this and let the river take me away. They'll be better off without me. I'm a burden, a lost cause. I'm bound to bad luck with death tailing my every move. I resurface again. I look around. The stones are out of sight. I take a deep breath in before I get pulled under again, then close my eyes and let the current take me. Smack. My head hits a rock. I fade out to blackness once again.